Principal of RD National College, Dr. Neha Jagtiani, IQSC Chairperson, Mr. Dinesh Himmat, and of course our very own Dr. Mona Kejriwal, IIC President of RD National College, for this wonderful opportunity to our Department of Psychology and for encouraging endeavors like this wholeheartedly and enthusiastically. Dr. Mona Kejriwal is always very, very enthusiastic to have these programs to share views from the speakers to the audience, so that students can listen to every single person who's present here, for showing interest and attending this program with much fervor. Without much delay, I would like to hand over the mic to our present TYBA psychology student, Ms. Rudra, to introduce our speaker for today, Ms. Shruti Jhaveri. Ms. Shruti, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to I would like to take the opportunity and extend a thank you to the head of the psychology department, Dr. Meghna Basu Thakur, who gives us the opportunity to learn and grow through these programs. Moving forward, I would now like to invite Mrs. Shruti Zaveri, who is an artist and is the only person in the world practicing a unique form of art, which is creating wall sculptures out of waste paper. She graduated from the prestigious Royal Academy of Fine Arts in Antwerp and has resided in Mumbai since 2003. She has exhibited in over 25 shows across the globe, including countries like Belgium, Indonesia, Korea, Dubai, and New York. She mostly takes inspiration for her artwork from the flow, fluidity, and magnificent underwater forms. The fluid forms are inspired by natural life and its peaceful, captivating flow. Mrs. Shruti also uses Mother Nature as an inspiration and recreates the basic principles of life, notions such as harmony, positivity, growth, and translates them into her artwork. Her sculptures that use ecologically sustainable materials show the beauty of nature in all its wonders. She was deeply affected by the destruction of underwater life forms by man made population and translated that into her art to raise awareness. Mrs. Shruti makes art that has a lasting impact and makes people ponder on the message as it aims to bring awareness and lead to change. She has also introduced two eclectic ranges of paper sculptures, which are the five elements and the fragile terrains. With Fragile Terrains, she shares her childhood dream through an interpretation of the mythical beauties in the ocean. The art installation perfectly displays her sheer admiration for the ocean and the corals. Without further ado, I now invite Mrs. Shruti to tell us the importance of ecological sustainability in art, leading us to a better and fresher future.
Thank you for your introduction. Thank you everyone for having me here. So, are you all excited to know about waste paper and how I can show you all how it's gonna happen? I'm gonna start by I'll start in a few minutes by presenting my slides, but I would like to transport you all into my world. So here it can you all see this?
Yes, we can see your
Okay,
screen, Shruti.
great. Okay, great. Okay, so welcome everyone. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Shruti Javeri. So, rightly announced that I am the only artist in the world creating 3D artworks, primarily out of this technique which I will be presenting to you. So, let me just begin with how many of you all collect junk, or you just throw it away. Well, I since I was a kid, but I didn't collect and throw it away. I actually used to recycle it and create new objects out of it. So I was born and brought up in Belgium, and it's a quaint and quiet, beautiful city where my parents gave me a privileged upbringing. We had a lot of greenery, the clean air, and the peace. So we had a lot of time to explore and grow. So there was a lot of a lot of self involvement. So we used to like meet friends, go for trekking, climb trees, and pluck at apples, and a lot of eco friendly ways of living basically. So that was how I have been brought up. And also, there was a rule in Belgium that we had to recycle all our garbage. So, from metal, wood, plastic, everything had to be separated. And the BMC of Belgium then used to collect it and then send it to the recycling centers. So that was a habit for all of us being brought up there in Belgium. And that's the way of our life was. Besides that, I also enjoyed exploring, and it was my personality trait, right? So then this is part of my school. The beginning was when I went to the British School of Brussels. I graduated in 1997. So I had taken up GCSEs, A levels, and I did my art, fine arts, computers, and French as my main topics. So when I did that, I explored a lot of mediums. The school opened my eyes up into, it exposed me to amazing techniques and styles. So the ceramics, I created ceramics, and I created fine arts like oil pastels and all these beautiful things. But Mother Nature always had inspired me. So oil pastels, soft pastels, all that. And then I also went, and in the craft design technology, we had learned how to use different kind of materials: wood, plastic, metal. And we were taught how to use the techniques and use material and how to create something. So for example, the table you see on the left, that was a amalgamation of Western and Indian culture. So the mango is representing Indian, and the wood lathe. So I had techniques like wood lathing, casting, welding, soldering, then plastic forming, various techniques to create products. But to know and be exposed to it really gave me a foundation to what I became now. So this table actually was a representation of me, Western culture with Indian culture. So it was a book, like you can put books inside the table, and it's all made out of waste because it's made out of the jute material. Then I use wood, and I use the technique of inlay. And so these are just one of the examples which I had done in school. Then you can see a picture of me in school painting, and this project made in plastic, which we were taught, you have to know. I feel like carpentry tools, all these things are very important, basic foundations everyone should know. Then I had my first sale. I had my first show at the ABN AMRO Bank in Belgium after my school and college, which was later on. And this was one of my paintings I had sold. It was my A levels work, and it was a pride moment, selling your first artwork, and that also from college and school. So it was a great moment for me to share. And in college, I had gone to the Royal Academy of Fine Arts. There, I had selected visual arts, primarily jewelry making. But in that, it wasn't just jewelry making per se, it was actually creating things out of the box, being innovative, thinking, experimenting with all kinds of mediums. And knowing me, I had so much stored up in my house, all the junk which I had. I kept using that, such as the totem. You can see that sculpture on the left. That's like actually a totem. I actually went inside of it. It's made of rice, and I've stuck it together and welded all these pieces, and it became a totem. So a totem represents who you are. So that was one thing. Then once I used Sprite bottles, and I created a headgear, by sewing it together. And these are like little funny projects, but then it made me experiment a lot. Also, there was a project day which we had in college, where we had to bring plastic pipes, and then on the day they just said, okay, create something out of it. So I split up a whole pipe which was like flexible. I cut up the slits, and then I made it into a hand jewel. I just put my hand inside, and I made it into a hand jewel. And that was the way we were taught. Luckily, the art college there, it's very important, and it is compulsory to study psychology, philosophy, sociology, and then art history. All that is very important to give you a deeper meaning in what you're studying. So that really gave me a great grounding. Also, I was proudly to say that I studied everything in Flemish, which was not my for, like, we had studied in a British school, in an English school, and being an Indian family, we really didn't speak in the Flemish language at home. So with my friends and all from college, they helped me and they guided me, and also I studied and I did all the examinations there. So that was a great thing. And with the guidance also of my sister, she was like a great guide for me because she also was in the Royal Academy of Fine Arts, obviously older to me 3 years. So she was always a great guide to me on every project which I did. Until date, she's like my guidance. So she's always taught me how to just keep finding my ways. So after the Royal Academy of Fine Arts, I moved to India. Complete overwhelming feeling. A Belgian girl moving to India. I did get a culture shock. It was multicultural background, yes, but I used to come here every summer. My parents wanted us to have a grounding, which is a great thing. But obviously, to move here was a completely different ball game, and I was getting married. So it was like from a quiet nuclear family, peaceful, just five of us, to million family members. Just over, like, it was so much love and so much energy I had to intake, that the culture, the music, the drive, like that. I just came to Bombay and I felt everyone was so ambitious, and the different castes I got to know, the different cultures I got to know. And honestly, after that, 2 years after I moved, I created this collection, which was a multicultural collection. It was based on the 5 continents. I took one culture from each continent. I studied basic stories, historic stories about them. Jainism I took from India because I am a Jain, and my mom has always been a very spiritual foundation for us. So that kind of inspired me to take out the beautiful forms and create that. Then even Egyptian from Africa, then Aboriginal, Aztec, then Art Nouveau from Europe. Art Nouveau was my favorite genre in Europe. So I had my first show, and of course, with the support of my husband, also he encouraged me exploring and finding myself. And that's why I took part in. I was teaching in an NGO called Om Creations, where I taught kind of how to make products. They were mentally challenged people, so I taught them how to make products and sell them. Like out of anything. It was like all different kind of products we made. So it was a great experience being part of the society, getting to know India actually at its roots, understanding people. So that was a great thing. And I always had a craving for knowledge, so that kept on going on. I did the NGO experience, and I taught at the German school. I just did a small project with grade 3 children where I told them all to use sustainable objects. We just went to the garden, picked up leaves. I got sand for them, and we got some cotton for them, and we made an artwork. I showed them a painting which I had made, but after that, we just kind of like created a sustainable artworks, and each kid made a beautiful artwork. But I just kept feeling like something was missing, and I just felt like I really want to give back some way bigger and better. So that's when I decided to create my art as a brand, because I just feel like we need to educate everybody around us, especially in India. The zero waste lifestyle is so important. Reuse and recycle. There is so much we all have, and we really can reuse it. So I took waste paper from companies, like my family business. They had so much waste paper accumulated. They actually shredded it, but they didn't really do anything with it. So I told them, please give it to me, and I'll create something out of it. So that's when I created my brand, Shruti Javeri Art, and I wanted to just share the emotional factor, and also I wanted to share what beautiful things we can create. It doesn't have to be crafty, and doesn't have to be like small things like a hobby. It can be made in a magnificent, exceeding everyone's expectations. And I'm happy to announce that I did, and I really felt like I've come to a place that I'm happy that everybody has really appreciated my art. So here is a video. Mona, if you can share the first video. It is a brand video, and it kind of like just shows about how I work, so they all can see. my whole entire story.
So you need to stop sharing when it.
Yeah. So Mona, you can keep your the sharing on.
Sure.
So I'm just gonna say that yeah. So I did a lot of study on sustainability on paper, and there were just few facts which I was kind of really happy to share. So I would just share that with you that actually 58% of the raw material to make paper is actually out of waste paper, which and 70% of that is out of agricultural residues such as wheat, grass, and bagasse, which is actually the waste residues of sugarcane. And the rest of the 25% is out of wood and bamboo, coming out of the social and farm forestry and plantations. Leaving us to understand that the Indian paper industry does not even cut natural forests. It actually uses paper and is in a sustainable lifestyle. So I thought that was a really great thing. So now I just wanted to share that what I was inspired by. So Mother Nature, as I've told you, Mother Nature and the forms have been a great part of my life from childhood till now. And that is, I'm just going to share you now the videos one by one of how each, earth, fire, water, all of the four elements, how they transform me into creating beautiful forms of art. So Muna, you can share all of them one by one, the four videos. Yeah.
ओके तो अभी क्या करना था
So yeah, that's because Mona, I will not take over.
Sorry.
I can take over the share now. I'm continuing with the presentation.
Okay.
So basically, I just wanted to freeze the fleeting moments of life. Oh wait, it's echoing on my side. Okay, I'm just gonna share. Okay. So I've always wanted to freeze the fleeting moments of life and bring them closer to everybody. So my works actually represent the facts are that each work is completely unique and they are made sustainable. So they're made out of waste paper. I completely hand sculpt them, and it's like out of a whole. A second, the echoing is happening. So I completely sculpt them by my hand, and it becomes like a whole entire process. So each work is completely unique. They're also durable, so they are made out of waste paper. But eventually, I have coated it because I work into the business.
Hello? Sorry? Okay. Sorry.
Should I?
Yes, you can go ahead, Shruti.
Okay. So, as I was saying, yeah. So the artworks, which they're completely unique, they are made out of my hands, and they've been made out of shredded paper, right? So eventually, each work completely turns out to be unique. They're durable, so obviously I am going to coat them and to make it waterproof, and I end up coloring them, so I do have to spray them because it is eventually my business, and I want everyone's homes to be enhanced with positive vibes. So all my works are durable and customizable. All these works which I create can be any single size, dimension. As I work with a lot of architects and interior designers, I make it according to their concepts, and being on any any kind of materials, wood and metal, and on canvas. So here is me working on the in my workshop. So initially when I create these works, I have sketches and then I hand sculpt them, right? So they all are white, and then it takes around a week to 10 days to dry them and in the sun because it needs a lot of natural air. And then after that, I start spraying it and coating it. So here is the creation of how I create my works. The process of how I work is a business is that I can make the samples, I meet clients, I do the sketches, create the samples, and then maybe go and install the works, or either pack the works and then I send it over, and I give authenticity certificates because each work is art piece and made by me. So, and the collections I have had made over 3 big collections. One was art age of innocence, which is all to do with life per se, all to do with the foundations we all have been brought up with. And the other one was fragile terrains, which is a major artwork which is I have been inspired by the underwater, which I will be telling you shortly more about. So so like I said, I have made my art into a business. I work with the interior designers, and like they set up the artworks like this. This piece means time. The artwork is time. It talks about how in life we have highs and lows, and how we can grow and evolve eventually, even though with the highs and lows. And remember, the gold rim is the shining. So always be positive, and eventually you'll always evolve. So it can blend into any space, enhance that. This collection is out of my the 5 elements. The earth, which you saw, the earth, fire, water, and this was the ether. So it is galaxy inspired, out of the world. So it's all to create, like, each works have a lot of funk to it. It adds a lot of sophistication, and adds a lot of classiness and trendiness to adds a fun element to a trendy home also. Then my works also create a very illusion, magical feel. When you are in a home and you see these 3D artworks, they're hard to touch, but they take you into another, transport you to another world. Okay. And my works also are a conversational starter. And so basically, I put them on a mirror to make it glamorous. So I've kind of like just made it more cooler depending on the lifestyle, like if it's a living room or a lounge. And it sets a balanced tone to any space. This work is representing a sand dunes in the desert. So this is one of fragile terrains. Sorry, I'm talking about fragile terrains, which is one of my themes. So that I wanted to shed light on, mainly because of the chemical waste being dumped in the oceans, and the corals have been bleached. So that was something which really meant a lot to me, because since I was a child, I've been a water baby, and I feel that it's really sad to see this over time. And I'm a mother now, so I want the future generations, the children, to see the beautiful corals, to experience the oceans and the waters. And what I did is I took the beauty and I enlarged it. So these reef elements are actually very small art forms underwater, but then I blew it up, enlarged it, and I kind of created my own versions of it. And this is the reef elements. This is the infinity. This actually talks about how our life is like a roller coaster, and I'm sure you all feel that. Like, we all are going crazy with our lives, going up and down. And I just wanted to share that, guys, enjoy the ride. It's a beautiful life, and we need to always be positive, because that's how we will eventually grow. So, Mona, you can play this video, please. Or should I just play it? Can you hear me? I don't. Okay. So all these works have music, so that's why I wanted to. It persona, it really magnifies the feeling. My art and music always goes together, because I love music, and 90% of the works I create are made while I listen to music. So music of water, nature, oceans. I just love all that. So yeah. Maybe the music is like right now. Okay. Music is not the idea of the. So 1 second now. Can you? So now I'm gonna still keep the handle, keep your side on. I'm just gonna continue talking. So this is a mermaid's curl. It is out of a box kind of artwork which I have created. Sorry, will you just stop sharing? 2 minutes. Sorry. So I'm going to do the next few works which I've done. So this is a sunset. It's white. Why? Again, shedding light on the bleaching in the oceans. But yet it is talking about the beauty of the oceans. It's talking about the waves. You can feel the movement happening. It's actually a sunset happening, and the whole momentum and the swerve, you can see that. And this is a circle of life. This is something which I wanted to share again, that how does the underwater world all coexist happily, and they're so balanced, and they can't even speak to each other, and how the world above, which world we're living in, how we can learn from that and live in perfect harmony. How important it is to actually see another world and learn from it. So it was just, again, each work is a little bit of a education, moral, which we all know, but it's just nice to hear it sometimes. This is the Enchanted World. So this work was, all the gradations of all the living forms that coexisting. All these works have all corrugated paper, straws, and again, shredded. And I keep putting things how more I can add elements to make my works more and more unique. So that's when I came up with this concept of the Mermaid's Curl. Now, this is something which is my heart, because since I was a child, I like I told you all, I've been a water baby, and I love mermaids, and I wanted to bring that alive. I wanted to bring that alive. Some way or the other. And over these years, I realized I got the opportunity to. So I created this mythical beauty, water spirit, and it is monochromatic, and it's you can see it. it's again monochromatic. Monochromatic means white to black. Only those colors are used. And again, it has corrugated papers. The straws are, stitched onto it with all the corrugated paper balls made and, painted. So I wanted to completely bring the mermaid alive because that was one of my dreams to do. I would just
Just make it full screen, but
oh,
make the
sorry.
note full screen so it can.
Sorry, I forgot to put this on my 1 second. I'll just go back to it. Um, so yeah, so the mermaid sport was something I created at the architectural event, and about the whole awareness of recycling, about sustainability, all that. It was a great interaction thing, and we learned a lot. It also felt great. So I'm just there. That's good. So that is a mermaid skirt. So I'll be having a show at the Tau Gallery. Happy to announce I'll be in December. So this skirt will be also possible to view there from December 15th, which is in at Worli. So besides wall art, I have also been opening up my verticals and trying new things out. How more can I educate and I can share with architects, interior designers, so they can put it in hotels, in resorts, spas, all these places. So I made murals. The whole, as you can see, each of them are actually small corals and little forms, and it's a yin yang. It's all about balance. It's creating a balance. So I wanted to talk about that. And another thing which I did is I did conceptual art. Conceptual art means like when a brand has something and they want to bring it to life. So the client who wanted me to make this was a fashion store in Bombay and at Kemp's Corner, and it was a fashion store which believed in sustainability. So I made it as a window display. You can see how big it was. It was 7 feet by 6 feet. And then I had a friend model for me. So, the whole skirt can come to life. I really thought she was like my muse at that time because she looks like a mermaid. But that kind of inspired me to go more and more experimenting with the installation concept. Any of you in the lockdown want some energy, So this is what I wanted to create. I wanted to bring out more energy into people. And the power boards is a new thing which I started, was actually creating vibes for people, love, all these fun elements, clarity, focus, love, lol, for young people, these kind of words really inspire them to live, they have it in their house, in their room. It's so much fun, and it gives an inspirational thing. And again, it's all out of rolled up newspaper with corrugated paper, and then you can see closer up, all of it is shredded, and there's a lot of hand sculpting happening here because I actually loved it. I love sculpting. And then besides that, I did mirrors and coffee tables and nest tables, just to kind of, again, try out new things. How more can my art be used in people's homes? And then also the mobile stands, which I started recently. all this, all these in lockdown, I realized that, we really need to sometimes come out of our comfort zone, and we really need to keep on evolving ourselves, challenging ourselves, finding new ways how to, get out there and just, grow and educate people that everybody can do something amazing. So I just tried this out, and I've been selling these mobile stands. Then because of this whole corona story happening since March, I started these eco-friendly workshops because I really wanted to bring out the creativity, imagination, and wanted to help everyone get out of their boredom. Actually, a lot of people were bored. So I said, you know what, there's so much you guys can do. So I started this paper clay workshop. It was, they had to create the paper clay and they had to make all these items. So I taught them how to make it. And these are all these pictures you can see, all the students have made it between the age of 8 to 65, and all of them were so happy. You can see the little children down there. They also created some really cute initials and things, and even you guys can make it. So I'm going to be sharing now next a video. If you want to notes, Mona, this I'm sharing this, you'll have to play, and hopefully the music will show. They can hear it then. So it's actually I was doing my research and trying to find something which is easy for just anyone, any age can make, and they can create anything they want, So hopefully you can hear the video.
I'm Anjali Kadiri. I'm an artist. Today I will do a master class to show you how to create, make a clay, and just create music. Network to make it feel. Also, we need some study paper, which is like a book. So if you don't have study paper at home, that's fine. You can cut out a newspaper with books just as well. And put some warm water into it. Just like that. If you use hot water, it's better as you break down the fiber of the paper. So it's nice and soft. So let me leave the excess water and dry it. So we will create more of the and I will use a blender to mix the shredded paper with it. So now I've blended the old shredded paper from machine but it's still very good because now we need all the water by switching it. I see that I'm going to go from the pipe. I'm going to move it. Flower. You can do any kind of circuit flower, there's no complete science of how much, but approximately 1 part or 2 parts of paper. So I'm going to put in a little bit of and then I'm put a little bit of salt to make the black vessel. So now we can take the paper plate. After we can put the brown plate, I'm going to create the mask. So I'm going to take the three pieces and I'm going to plan out as a surprise what I'm going to make. So you can create the shape using the two techniques of pencil. So very therapeutic concept. So now I'm going to so I'm going to make it dry now. So this is kind of once it's done, you can create a shape of it. So now it is white and we're going to cover it. We're going to cover it. I have just 2 times. So I have just 2 times. Cover and clear out and
I think it.
So guys, this is the final stage. I will show you the how will be creating. So here it is. It is finally dry, and I just put the material which is done onto the wood. And this one is holder. So it's for your phone. It's a phone holder. You can also put your iPad on it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing your products, which you create. Please tag me. I'm very excited to see what you guys have to make in this time. Thank you very much for interview. Very nice.
I think ending got a little clipped out. Um, Mona, can I?
Uh, I've already stopped sharing. Someone
I think
Smita.
has to share.
Smita. I think someone Smita is sharing the screen
Yeah,
with you.
yeah. I
Just a
think that.
minute.
Miss Smita, can you please stop sharing?
Miss Smita. I'll just remove and then
I think.
yeah. Please.
So just go back to. So do you want me to just show the ending? Was it okay? I hope you want to see the ending of how to create it. But see it in my Instagram. It's on Art by Shruti J. So please do see the video if you want to create something, and then you can tag me later on. So now I'm just going to continue. So besides doing these workshops, I have been always giving back to society. I love being part of that with the foundation which my parents did give us. We always have to give back. Shujan NGO was I conducted a life skill for college students where they got their waste from their homes and we created a college bags for them. They created it. Sorry, I just taught them how to create it. They were put into teams, and I taught them how to drill, stake fabric, and make actual fun bags with the pipes and everything. And it was like a fun, teamwork kind of a project. Then the rest of the other three were actually NGOs where I just donated for the NGOs. So here is just few of the features, 30 publications and newspapers in India, which I've been part of my branding, which I was doing, and in Better Interiors. So I've been taking part in a lot of shows, over 27 shows across the globe, from New York, Dubai, Singapore, all the cities, and in India and in Belgium, of course. So I really enjoyed that, and this is one of the parts where I really was happy to be part of. It was a TV celebrity show where my works were kept as a backdrop, and celebrities like Sania Mirza, Boman Irani. I got to see it, and then it was viewed live. I mean, it was part of the show, so a lot of visibility came to me because of that. And as I mentioned, the shows I took part in. This was a luxury lifestyle show, which have been part in. Take part in Index show. So these interior shows really, I meet a lot of architects and interior designers. So that's how I do it. And this is in luxury, which was in Geo Garden, PKC, where I got to know a lot of celebrities. And Shankar Mahadevan was there, and it's a wonderful experience. Like actually creating the works, working 8 months of the year by yourself, and then actually sharing it and putting it up there. It's another life. It's another kick actually, another high which I always love, and I end up educating them all about each work, the story, the reason why I'm doing it, and also the stories. Like for example, the whirlpool represents how important it is to keep on evolving. So here is the PVR on the left, if any of you had seen it, in High Street Phoenix, and then the Decode is another interior show. So this is how I present my work. Again, thanks to my husband, he's been always my supportive guide because the huge works, the heavy works, and I store them in my workshop, and he helped me, and it's been an amazing journey all these years, and I continue this all my life. And yeah, just like to share that the major learnings are always having a supportive family is extremely important, and being grateful for it. But also it's very important to overcome your fears. Like for me, I had a lot of fears. So fears kind of just eventually went over time with all the challenges which I faced. Now I ended up made all my fears and challenges into an opportunity, and all these opportunities eventually was my stepping stones for my success. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share with you guys. That this is my journey, and I hope you all get inspired to create, your journey. And I hope eventually I can maybe see any of you guys and where you all have reached. So thank you very much. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Shruti. Thank you so much. There are a couple of questions that have come in. If you're ready to take in the questions.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, great. So one of the questions asked is, do you need to have a workshop to make these kind of sculptures, or can you do it in a small way at home?
So I wanted to do everything by myself, right? Like for me, I'm not into like going out and getting these machineries and all that. It's not possible in India to do that. So what I do is I just work from home, and that's the reason why you're sustainable. You can be unique. You can actually work from home. All I needed was a compressor, because a compressor is where I can spray huge artworks, but you can even use a can, like the aerosols. But it's very easy to find ways to do things just by yourself. It is really not that difficult. It's just that, like I said, overcome a fear. It's just finding your ways, talk to people, and you can really evolve and find a easy way to do things at home. So I do everything at home, and I just have a garage down to spray my work, and that's it.
Okay, Shruti, thank you for that. One more question was that when you're looking at a career with sustainable art and the kind of work you do you think it's a financially lucrative, accepted career for a woman?
So
I think the students want to ask is, architecture is an accepted career, interior
Yes.
design is an accepted
Yes,
career.
yes,
But
yes.
it is an amalgamation of both. You are supplying to an architect, you are working to make customized things for an interior decorator. So this is like more of a backstage kind of a job. So
Yeah.
what a student wants to know is it a forefront job? Is it an acceptable career? Is sustainable art accepted in India?
So it is. I'm monopoly as of now, so that was a great thing. And honestly, when you have something unique, which is sustainable, architects and interior designers are always looking for something unique. They always want something out of the box. And the thing was, earlier I was only doing art shows, okay, and at that time, to be honest, I really felt like I should just stop what I'm doing. But because I didn't give up, I realized I needed to go in another direction. And I went into the direction where I will be earning more. I ended up, people who will accept and understand my kind of art, the niche crowd. So the architects, interior designers really understood my art. And that's how my actual business journey started, when I made my art into a brand, and not earlier when I was taking part in art shows. Because in India, it wasn't, people were not accepting the whole idea of paper art. They were just like, what are you doing? And that was a backseat for me. But then I realized there has to be a way. And I spoke to a lot of interior designers, and they actually said that, if you can make this a permanent solution, it is amazing. And that one or two people, guidance of the right kind of people, helped me to kind of evolve and make this into a brand and into a business. And yeah, I'm supplying to so many architects and interior designers. My work is online. I have a gallery, like I said, in Tao Gallery. I have a show. So eventually you can, but it is a lot. You need to have that passion, and you need to never stop. Just never give up. That's all I say. Is if you love something, just don't ever give up. Always keep fighting for it.
Thank you, Shruti. So, in just to summarize it, what you're saying, that you had the right mentor at the right time who
Yes.
kind of, both of you all brainstormed and you all came up with a
Yes.
solution that you need to create it as a brand, as a niche for a specific community who understands your work, and of
Yes.
course you're ready to cater to them. Another
Yes.
question that has come up is from a student saying, was it difficult to choose a non-traditional career, especially that you were getting married and settling in India? This is a non-traditional career. Considering how parents today encourage careers only with engineering or medical or IT? So a student just wants to know
Yeah,
that.
I mean, initially when I did get into the Royal Academy of Fine Arts, my dad was like, "You have to do something like jewelry making because that is more of a business." And I took it, but at the end, it ended up I doing this. I ended up creating art at the end. So it was a very difficult thing as my dad was hell bent on me creating jewelry and being part of the business, which was our family business. But over time, I realized I just had to follow my path and find my journey. Moving to Bombay, my husband has really been supportive. He's just like, you do what you want, find your way. You want to create art, you want to sell art, just do it. It's very important to have that. And my in-laws are also very supportive. They've been, always giving me that space because art requires a lot of space. So I used to just literally work in the living room like day in, day out. And, they accepted that. Like once you talk about it, I think it's very important to have communication with, your family. And once you tell them how important it is to you, they will really understand you, and you can make it big. Everybody can make it big. It's just about persistence. That's it.
Thank you, Shruti. This is the last question. A student asks, what inspired you to think of using paper waste in your art? I do remember you mentioning that there was a lot of paper waste from the business. But
Yeah.
why specifically using paper
So
waste in art?
so this was
Is
a
there
really,
any specific?
yeah, it was really strange. Actually, so this happened after I had my second child. I did go into a down period in my life where, after having two children, you're managing the children and being very ambitious. I had to find a balance, and I was like, what can I do from home, right? So I really was tired of this painting and fine arts part. So I got to my junk collection, and my one of my friends, he just sent me a whole bag of junk, and he said, you know what, just do something with it. And I was like, what am I going to do with all this, and that's when I just started playing. Honestly, I was really playing around and experimenting, and it took me like 2 years to actually develop this technique. It was not a overnight thing. The idea came overnight that, oh my god, I can use shredded paper because it's so versatile and it can be formed. But the idea of using shredded paper came only because I felt like wood was very difficult. Metal was like, I don't want to buy it, and I don't know where I'll get metal waste unless I get from companies. And I thought that was too much of an effort. I thought this was the easiest way where I can actually get raw material. And 90% of Bombay has paper. They all use, accountants. All companies have paper. So I thought this was the easiest thing which I can quickly get as my raw material. So that's why I started shredded paper art.
Great. There's one more question that has come up. Do you use plastic in your art?
No, I don't use plastic in my art. I use, to create, the infinity which you saw, the whole roller coaster work. So that was, I have a metal base inside to make it more stronger and more permanent, because when I start creating 5 feet, 6 feet works, you need something supportive. So I use aluminium inside, but it's just canvas and shredded paper and the chemicals the paste which I use. The paste which I use is completely made and through R&D with myself with the 2 years I told you. So I don't use plastic otherwise.
So great, Shruti. I think we've taken all the questions that have come up in the chat box. So guys, we're meeting the first woman in the world who uses paper in arts. And I did see how you use the shredded paper and the hand mixie, and it excites me, Shruti, and that's excellent work. So thank you so much, Mrs. Shruti Jhaveri, for this enlightening
you.
session on creating sustainable artwork. I think the most important thing is, your talk about going after your dreams instead of just following the traditional career path.
Yes.
That was really inspirational and inspiring. And I think what you did was, and what I think students can take from your talk is that it's important to take small step towards creating a better future for the generations to come, which is actually commendable, because you said you have 2 kids and you want to see a better environment for the future generations.
Yes,
So
yes.
thank you once again for taking time out of your busy schedule and for sharing your immense knowledge on creative and environmental artwork with our students present today. And last but not the least, I would definitely like to extend a warm gratitude and thank you to all our organizers, IIC, RD National College, from RD National College, the I2SC, and of course all participants for participating in this event and making it a huge success. I think personally, I'm not much of an art person, but I really learned something different. I have been seeing and reading about your artwork, but like I said, when you're a novice, you don't understand so much. So your PPTs and your videos made it very simple to understand, and that it is possible. So great, thank you so much, Shruti. Thank you,
Thank you
Dr.
so
Mona
much.
Kejriwal.
Ma'am,
Thank you, Dr. Mona Kejriwal. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to have a talk with
Sure.
ma'am. She's here. First of
Yes.
all, thank you so much, ma'am. It was really awesome talk.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, like when Meghna ma'am has called me, at that time we were doing another workshop, and we were discussing actually how to use the waste material, and our topic was on basically on the stubble burning, which is there in the Delhi, and you must be familiar with that
No,
in North.
what burning? Sorry, I didn't understand the last two
Stubble
words.
burning. Stubble burning in
What
the
is
North
stubble
Delhi.
burning? I'm not sure what that is.
Basically, in the north region, a lot of farmers just they burn their whole field just to clear the earlier harvest and just
Oh,
to So that harvest, which is waste material in the fields, so they just burn it to make the field ready for the next harvest.
okay.
So in that, we were just discussing how to control this waste and what can be made out of this particular waste. And at the same time, Meghna ma'am has called me and told me that you can have your workshop on waste material. So it has all started from there. And a lot of students from that talk has also joined here to know what idea they can get it from. So we will talk more about it, and we will definitely invite you in our college to give a live demonstration of your
Yeah.
work. So that would be very nice because then student can actually have some Meghna ma'am,
And
what you say? So
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
I agree to what you're saying, Mona. So, like I do see, the stubble burning is, this intentional setting of fire
Correct.
to the straw, the stubble that remains after the gray, like paddy, wheat, etc. So
Anything,
that
yeah.
has already been harvested. Anything else. So I think, government is trying to restrict this intentional burning, which is called stubble burning. So I think what we would be, I think our students would really be interested to know how can we create art from that, maybe
Correct, correct.
sustainable art.
yeah,
Probably that is something that our students would enjoy if they could have a workshop, live workshop with these
sure.
products. If you can, guide us later on, we can take this discussion.
Yeah,
Sure.
sure. They'll be
Thank you so
exciting
much,
to try
Dr.
something else out.
Correct.
Definitely.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you so
Mona.
much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So thank you everyone. Thank you so much once again. Thank you Shruti for
Thank you.
being a part of this talk. And I think we can end this session.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you everyone
Okay.
for being
Thank
present
you.
today.